Hello, I'm Joachim Duplessis. Welcome to the HTS Epoll. It's your opportunity to weigh in on the most pressing issues of the day. St. Lucia's roads are seeing more and more vehicles, both hybrid and those with combustion engines, adopting LED lights. While these lights might help the driver see better, their varying brightness levels are causing concern for others on the road. This inconsistency can lead to glare and temporarily blind other drivers, raising safety issues, especially in dimly lit areas. Consequently, there's a growing discussion about whether the current rules governing vehicle lights are sufficient to manage this situation. As LED technology becomes more widespread, the question is whether the existing regulations can effectively prevent the potential dangers caused by these diverse light intensities. So we asked, do current St. Lucia regulations adequately address safety concerns arising from the varying brightness of LED headlights on vehicles? We took to the streets to get your opinion, and here's what you had to say.
I think so too. I think I got the same thing on my car, LEDs too, but I don't use the bright lights at all because the roads are already lit up. And since the roads are already lit up, dim light is good enough. I think the government should be doing something about it because those guys put the bright light on and you can't see nothing. That causes a lot of accidents. So I think the government should be doing some cracking up on it.
My experience here in St. Lucia, I do think the LED lights are a hazard. At night, I have to really focus because it's really bright and it causes a glare on the windshield. So I do think it's a hazard.
What do you think that can be done to ameliorate the situation?
Well, we can go with the conventional type of headlights. That would be a remedy to the situation. But if St. Lucia does not go with that option, I believe that if everyone come to, just use common sense and just turn off their high beams, because that is another issue as well with driving at night with your high beams. So that is my experience on the island.
Yeah, I have realized that. I've seen it before because I've traveled at night and see, especially when them guys put on their bright on you. I think something have to be done.
I most definitely think so, Desmond. I have been the victim of such high-powered lights. What I've noticed is, in addition to those, I think they call them HIDs, high-intensity diodes, some of those drivers or vehicle owners, they put additional lights at the bottom, like a little panel, and they have those on even during the daytime. And at night, it can really throw you off. I've seen actually come upon an accident where the lady claimed that the lights were so bright that she veered to the left and ended up in a ditch. So there seems to be a need for some sort of regulatory interest in what drivers do with their vehicles' lights and luminosity. So that's my observation up to this point.
It certainly is, because I've had my difficulty, my problems with that also. Many accidents are caused because of these bright, shiny lights in your eyes and your face. It's really too protruding, and we need to at least do some, restrictive measures on that. We must put some measures in place that these lights, are controlled and they are managed in a way that, it will not distract other drivers coming in the opposite direction. It is a serious concern and it needs to be looked at exceedingly seriously.
I would say it's not. It's a very good thing. It helps. There's a way they install it. They put too much wattage on it, I find, which is not so good for some people with bad eyesight. But apart from that, it helps. It's just that we have to be careful of how we install it and how we use it.
It's a big hazard on this road because people go to the extreme. Other people overuse it on others who have the vehicles of the 70s and the 80s. I believe that there should be more checks on these lights. Either the authorities have to take a big stand and watch. Even those who have LEDs on those vehicles should never have fog lamps on those vehicles. Because it's a real problem in this country when you're driving a vehicle of the 80s on this road, which did not come with LEDs. I believe our drivers should have more courtesy on this road, especially we have street lamps. You could drive your vehicle on dim. You don't have no reasons for in a place where there is lights to drive with those high beam lights in people's eyes.
It's a definite problem because as of right now, the whole of Saint Lucia, all our street lights are working, thank God, for the Saint Lucia Labour Party. So I think this LED light should be definitely banned because every highway has lights now, street lights in abundance. Well, most times the vehicles come with the normal lights and the guys remove them and put in the higher wattage lights, which is unfair and I believe should be banned. Definitely.
Now to our new discussion. The Sargassum invasion of the Caribbean, including Saint Lucia, presents a complex challenge with both negative and, according to Fisheries Department, potentially positive impacts. The foul odors and unsightly beach conditions can deter visitors and negatively affect the aesthetic appeal of the island. Fishers face difficulties navigating and landing their boats due to the dense seaweed mats. However, the Fisheries Department highlights that sargassum acts as a fish aggregating device, reportedly leading to increased catches of certain species like dorado and jacks for some fishers. The Ministry of Agriculture also has a task force dedicated to tackling the problem. So we ask, do you believe St. Lucia can effectively mitigate the impact of the Caribbean-wide sargassum seaweed invasions? Remember, our Epoll team is always on the go to get the responses as well. Watch the HTS News Force from 7 p.m. for the results and a new discussion.